Hello, everyone, and welcome to another empowering session of Parenting Summit 2024. Today, we are exploring a crucial life skill that every teen and indeed every parent need to master, helping teens manage failure, teaching resilience, and bouncing back from setbacks. Our esteemed guests, Binita Roy, Cluster Principal of Delhi World School, Hyderabad. Miss Roy is a passionate educator with an incredible ability to connect with young minds and guide them through the highs and lows of life. Her work has helped countless students and families understand that failure is not the end of the road, it's a stepping stone to success. We often hear that failure builds character, but how do we, as a parent and educator, ensure that our teens internalize this message? How do we empower them to face challenges with strength and learn from their mistakes? Ms. Roy is here to offer her wisdom and strategies on this vital topic. Let's dive into the discussion. Welcome, ma'am, to Parenting Summit 2024.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much. My name is Binita Roy, and I am currently working in Hyderabad as a cluster principal for Delhi World School. I am into educational field since 13 years. So I have seen and dealt with many children who have who grew up from nursery till 10th grade and 11 and 12 also. Throughout my journey, I have seen that each stage has its own pattern. Like, you cannot deal with a child of nursery the same way you deal a seventh or eighth standard child.
Right, ma'am.
This is how it goes. And today we would like to discuss on how to manage the teenagers. I mean, the children who belong to the age group of, I think, maybe like 13 to 19, and they are the children who would mostly study from seventh grade onwards. These children are mostly at their peak of growing stage, and I would like to discuss further on the same by sharing a PPT plus. Like the topic, as I was saying here, is today helping teen manage failures, teaching resilience, and bouncing back from setbacks. That means often in this age, children tend to, you know, uh, feel very low when they are, or feel like disheartened when they lose confidence and by losing something or not able to grasp something that they want to achieve in their life. So at that point of time, how we as a parent or we as a guide or mentor help them to achieve and come back in their life towards their growth in life is what we are going to discuss on. As I was saying, we are dealing with children who are at the stage of growth and they are failing in something or facing some glitch. So at that same point of time, if we as a parent or as a mentor would guide them, they would definitely move ahead and achieve what they want to in the long run. So this is something that we need to inculcate in our child's mind or the teen's mind. So moving to the next stage, first let us just understand what a teenager is teenager is all about, or the teenage age is all about. The teenage years are the bridge between who we are and who we are becoming. Like when I was a teenager, or any one of you was a teenager, how you used to learn things, or whenever you are going for anything, maybe in the classroom or outside while you are playing, we are learning a lot of things. In the same stage, when we go through this teenage age, it is physical growth, emotional growth, and social growth that is happening at that age together. So there is rapid growth and hormonal changes in the child's body or develop while developing, and so that children often tend to feel confused and so on. So how do we deal with it? Talking about, so as I was saying, we were discussing on the understanding of how a teenager thinks and accordingly how the child behaves and how we should deal with the kids. So here there are 6 points as you can see on the screen. The question goes like, why is it important for teenagers to experience and learn from failures during their formative years? During their formative years, they should be ready to face the challenges and should not feel disheartened or like they should not feel low and stop trying. That is the main intention that we have here. So the first point goes like, adolescence is time for development and learning and provides opportunities for lifelong impact. So which means that whatever the child will do at that very point of their life, or however the child will start thinking and evolving, the same way their future will be ahead of them. Likewise, if we go for point number, I'm not reading out each and every point as we have little time constraint. You can see them and you can keep a snapshot and you can read them later on. So the fifth point goes like, the adolescent brain has an exceptional capacity for resilience, meaning adolescents have the opportunity to develop neurological adaptations. That means they can adapt to the situations. If we train them well at that point of their life, they can adapt to the situations very quickly and easily, and they move ahead. So rest of the points you can just read out. I'm skipping to the next one. So we are mainly aiming for a stress-free parenting, right? So our main intention is that how do we deal with kids so that we also don't have stress. The kids also don't feel too much stressed that they are adolescents. Oh my God, my life is, somewhere I don't know how to deal with it. So there are some don'ts that we can see in the screen. That is don'ts for parents. We should not demean the kids. Not kids, we should not call them kids. Now they are teens. They are almost moving towards their adolescence, right? So if we keep demeaning them, like saying, oh, you are bad, you are not worthy enough, you are dumb. Oh, you have not got good marks, you are dumb. You're too lazy to sit with your books or go for a sport, and so on. So these are the negative words which we tend to generally as a human being use, even though we are parents and we love them the most, right? We scold them, we shout on them. We even when the kid argues with us, we start arguing with the kid. This is something we should not do. Rather, when the kid argues, we should calm the child down. Okay, my dear, sit down, have this water, let us discuss when you are with a proper free mind, right? So once we talk in the same way, what happens is that the child slowly feels confident to speak to you. Moving to the next point, that is, what are some common mistakes parents and educators make when addressing a teen's failure? Your child came home today. Let us discuss one scenario. Your child came home today. It was a sports day, and he was very much interested to win, but couldn't win. So he's very disheartened. He comes home, and you, when you come back from office, maybe the father, just take it simply. This is just an example. You may not be doing it. So starts overreacting to it. So much you have tried, you did not even study, you did not even work for your next examination, you just kept practicing for this sport. Maybe let us take it as a tennis. Okay, and finally you couldn't achieve it. You really disappointed me, beta. This is what generally the some parents would talk like, because of course you want your child to achieve, you want your child to be the number one. Then this is something that we should not do. What we should do, that also I will discuss. Let us go ahead. First, minimizing the teen's feelings. What the teen feels or tries to express to you, you stop it there itself because you scolded him or he is not interested to talk to you anymore. Then overemphasizing on the negatives, punishing without understanding, comparing to others. These are something we should not do. We should not compare a kid with other kid, because we all know that every child is different and unique. They have their own set of goals, talents, as well as the capability or the capacity to achieve something, right? So next is failing to model resilience. That means how to come back. Resilience means how do I come back from something that I couldn't achieve in my life. Again, try hard, work for it to achieve it. Right? So moving ahead, do's for the parent. What we should do? We should give ample emotional support to our kids, sit and talk and explain to those children at that point of time, not only at that age, in every age, from when the moment a child is try, has started to understand things, we should start talking to the kid, sitting and giving time. This is the first thing that we should do. You can be the best guide to your child. Um, like as I being a principal or the teachers around me, they can definitely always help, but it is only 8 to 9 hours that we are there with them, right? Rest of the time it is you. So even though, my dear parents, you have a lot of work, hectic schedule, I understand everything because I'm also an adult, but try to at least take out some time sitting with your kid, maybe during the dinner, maybe while watching TV, or on Sundays, anytime you have to sit with your kid, talk to the kid. So as we all know, there are certain, like, I'll just discuss next. What I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss two scenarios in which how do you deal with the kid. That is the thing I'm going to discuss. Okay, so these are all the points that we are going to discuss. Normalize failure as a part of growth, encourage emotional expression, instill long-term vision, develop problem-solving skills, foster a growth mindset, and the last one is provide positive role modeling. The first one is handling failure with a growth mindset. If your child has failed, you have to deal it with in a very positive way. First, mentioning that this is your step towards your next growth. Right? So this is a scenario wherein a child is struggling with math subject, because when your kid moves to 7th and 8th grade, it is quite obvious that because of some of the topics that come up at that point of time, they feel stressed about mathematics subject. So when the deal with, because I was a math teacher, so I'm discussing on math. Every subject has its own thing, right? So what happens is that when your child comes to that stage, algebra will come, trigonometry will come, right? These are the topics which often confuses your kid or your child. So what we do is, first of all, you should acknowledge that your child is trying. So this is a scenario wherein the mother sits with the daughter and acknowledges that, okay, my dear, you have started trying, you are trying really hard. I can see that you sit with your mathematic practice every day. If the child is not sitting, suppose, that you have to make the child sit first, right? So how do you do it? That is again up to you, whether you sit with the child or you get a tutor or help at home, right? Then the parent recognizes the child's effort. I see how much effort you are putting in. It's tough, but you are showing resilience. You are trying hard. That is something I am really appreciating, my dear. And definitely, if you keep trying like this, you will achieve it today or tomorrow. So then what happens is, share growth stories. Like maybe you have failed. Of course, we as human beings, we always, sometimes in our life, we do fail, right? So when we fail, again, we come back. How you came back, share one such story with the child, making the child feel confident that, okay, fine, this is what I'm facing right now. And see, when my mummy was there, mummy faced that, and how she came out, I will also come out. So it will give them confidence. Next is reframe failures as feedback. That if your teacher has scolded you today in the classroom that you are not doing good, take it as a feedback from your teacher. That's it. Nothing in negative. Take it as a feedback from your teacher that, okay, um, suppose Mohana, okay, Mohana, you're not doing good. The teacher has said, fine, I will again try her and work back on it. So obviously encourage a growth mindset. This automatically leads to a growth mindset. Failures are something which means that you are really trying hard. This is something you have to inculcate in the child's mind. Okay, saying it, repeating it every time, they try to lose confidence, or they don't try, of course, they lose confidence and they try to come out of it. Next is encourage emotional expression. At this age of adolescence, what happens, because of some hormonal changes, many children tend to become quieter. They speak less, they share less. What happens is that they often feel frustrated with a lot of things, because it's not only about studies or their games, sport, or any activity. It's in their personal life also. Lot of changes happen in their body, because of which they try to even see, it's an open discussion, and that is why I'm discussing on this. And we have seen this happening in schools, that
the child may feel attracted to another kid. It is quite obvious at that age, right? So what we do generally, parent means how our parent used to deal is scold. How can you be? This is not the right age. You will get your time. When that time will come, then you will obviously go ahead with that in life. Right now, it is time for you to study, work hard, and gain marks and achieve. That's it, right? This is something we say. It is correct. You are absolutely true and correct. But this is not the way to express. Don't mind me saying this, but we have seen, parents coming up to us being very sad and upset about such situations, and we have dealt with them. And from that experience, I'm speaking on this. So I'll just give you one small incident that happened in my previous organization where I was working. And that is, there was one child in grade 7. I'm not mentioning name and anything, right? So this child, she told lie to us and even to the front office that someone has come from her shop because her father used to run a shop. Okay, so her father used to run a shop, and like often people, he will send some person to pick her up when she's not well or something. So she started acting that she's not well and she wants to go home. And someone calls from the shop number that I'm coming to pick. So what will happen when we get a call from the office number, shop number, which is already saved with us? That it is actually her father's number. So we obviously will have to send the child, right? So we write the like token note that we have to give the get pass and everything, and we send the child with that boy. It was a young boy. This is a real story that has happened last year. Okay, so what happened? This girl moved out of the campus at around 5 when the school is over, and children already moved home, and we were almost in the transition going back to our home after work. We get a call from her mother saying that she did not reach home. Okay, now school buses already dropped kids and came back. We found out, obviously it's very easy, we could find out from our register that this child has left at this timing, 12:30 or 1, with someone. Kisse call aaya? Call came from the father. Now, what we obviously to the mother is angry, shouting, So obviously, any parent would do that. So she was very upset, and she like we got hypertension. What happened, girl child first of all. Then finally, we talked to the father. Father says, "No, I did not do any call. In call record, there is no record." Then finally, after some time, the child gets in home. Then what happens is that obviously the mother did not listen to us or anything. Obviously they're not ready to listen. They're making stories now and this and that. And finally, the original story that came out is that this girl moved with that guy outside, roamed around, and came back home. While going home, it became late. And that boy actually is a guy working in her shop, her father's shop. Now, what will happen? This parent, what should be the parent's reaction? What do you think? Mostly, it will be hitting. Okay, mostly it will be hitting or scolding or you know bringing the child up to such level that the child is finished. That day her day is gone, right? But that happened to her actually. Then the next day the father and the mother both came to meet us saying sorry to us because they obviously scolded us and shouted on us meaninglessly. They could find out the real thing, and then we sat with the girl for counseling. Now by that time the girl already had swelling on her face. So we could see that openly, but then we counseled the kid, and the kid is doing totally fine today, and she is in the next grade studying, and she's very good in studies actually. Okay. Then we counsel the parents saying that in such a situation, it is better to sit with the child, talk to the child, and explain what is right, what is wrong, only when she is in the correct mindset. You have to give a lot of time. Okay, so this is something related to the emotional expression. The child will emotionally express to you, please remember this, only when you are emotionally available for the child. Please remember this. Guide them in managing their ta- tantrums, different things happening to them. The like at a point of time they're very upset, very sad. At a point of time they're too angry. So this is something fluctuating happening. You have to be emotionally available, give time. If sometimes you may see your child is shouting on you, right? You have to give time. Ask the child, please do not shout like this. Sit down, drink water, calm down, then we will talk. That's what you can do, right? Moving next to the next point. So here is one example wherein, as I said, I already gave you one example, so I'm not reading this out. Next is instill long-term vision. If your child is thinking about today, you think about his or her future. Help teens understand that one setback does not define their future. If I have failed today, as I'm from starting, I'm saying if I fail today, tomorrow I have 100% chance that I achieve the best, only provided I work hard. A casual conversation over dinner or a walk would be the right thing when you talk about it. So here is one scenario wherein the parent says, do you like, how much do you admire, obviously, Sir Kalam? And you know how, like, he has done a lot of things for the country. He was the president, and he has, discovered the rockets and these and that, whatever. You know the story. I'm not discussing much on that. So when you speak about it, then you ask the child, what do you want to become? What do you want to become? This is very important, my dear parents. When I deal with admissions, parents coming walking in, mommy and daddy with the child, I often ask this question as a principal, that what is your aim, my dear? What is your aim in life? What do you want to become? Now today in nursery, if I am a principal and I am asking today in this school, what is your aim, the maybe the grade 1 child will say scientist. But when the child again goes to grade 5, and suppose by any chance changes school, or another teacher asks him or her, they will say, no, I think I'll become a CA. This is one very crucial thing. Don't force your kids to become scientist, doctor, CA, or, let us take it, professor. You don't force it, please. This is my request, because it doesn't happen like that. Definitely you can guide the child to be at his or her best, but not guide her to become a scientist or engineer. Okay, so here what happens is, there it is a very vast field that we are having currently. We have a lot of different opportunities. Let the child explore, learn, fail again, achieve something, and find out what actually he or she wants to become. So don't be upset the next time you see, oh, my child was saying in childhood that he will become a scientist, now he changed his mindset and now he is a CA. Okay, so this is quite common and it's very normal. Take it positively. The child will only be at his or her best when you give the open opportunity to achieve. Okay, so this is one situation. Again, like as I said, the child changes his mindset or her mindset. First, he or she love to become a scientist. When he grows and his mindset changes, and the parent says, it is totally fine, my dear, explore. That is more important. So moving to the next 3 points, before moving to the next 3 points, I'd like to discuss one small thing. That is, this is the human cycle, as you can see. So teen is the 5th stage of our life. Like every stage, there is something unique about every stage, and teenager is also just a stage of life. Don't take it too heavy. So once, I think you all must have heard of Sir Sadhguru, right? So to him, once in an interview, this question was asked by one of the parent who was very frustrated at that point of time with her kid. How to deal with a teenager? So he laughs. He laughs and he says that teenager, don't talk about teenager. Let's talk about every age. Every age is a problem, right? Be it the iron age, I mean the past iron age, stone age, bronze, or computer age. Every age is a problem if you see it as a problem. This is the next thing he told. Obviously, in depth, he explained. I'm not going that much into depth. But he said, as you are born normally and naturally, you have gone through different stages of your life growing as an adult. So, every stage, whether infancy, adolescent, adulthood, or old age, has its own beauty, and children just should be guided with care, and they must feel that they are heard and understood. This point, heard and understood. They often, we as a parent, although we try our 200% level best to understand our children, we fail. Even I also fail at times with the kids I deal with in school, right? So we fail, but we have to keep an open mindset, and we have to be, first of all, very calm and take time to understand things. If you see everything as a problem, then you can't survive happily. There are two most important lines that he said, which I would like to share with you, is that fixed mindset. If you have a very fixed mindset as a kid, you have to tell this to your child. Failures and mistakes will be obstacles to you. Okay? If you have a very fixed and stiff mindset, failures and mistakes you will see as a blockage in your life. But if you have a growth mindset, challenges are opportunities for you. So this is something you need to discuss with your kid. It's very important, and you in depth, of course, you can explain it better than me. The next fourth point here is developing problem solving skills. How to deal with different situations is what we have to teach individually. So here I will discuss on this example. The child was actually riding a bicycle. Its chain fell off or something became loose. Now this girl is in adolescent stage and is not able to fix it and getting upset and sad and cranky. Okay. So here the mother comes up for help and she says, looks like your bike is giving trouble. How about we treat this like a mystery to solve? What do you think is causing the chain to slip again and again? Right? So the child or the adolescent is saying, maybe it's just loose. Parent says, that's a solid guess. How can you check that? How can we check that? So here the adolescent replies, pull the chain and see if it's too slick. Parent says, exactly, let's try it. If if it is loose, what is our next move? So what happens here? You see, the parent is talking that let us try this. If not, then what? If not, again what? So when I'm not reading it further, just explaining you that when you show the path to the child holding the child's hand, definitely the child will try to also understand that, okay, my mama or my parent or my guide is telling me that I try this, I fail. I try that, maybe I'll pass. If not, again, I'll try something else. So developing problem solving skills. And it differs from situation to situation, right? Moving to the next point, provide positive role modeling. So here, this situation is discuss how you handle setbacks and what you learned from it. This is one scenario wherein there is a fight between the neighbor and your parent. So the neighbor is shouting and getting angry because the car was being parked in a place which was affecting, for them to park the car, right? Maybe you're staying in an apartment and therein you have parked a vehicle, and because of that, the backside vehicle is unable, they are unable to park. So this neighbor of yours gets furious and angry, and obviously a fight or argument happens at that point of time. Later, and this is by mistake seen by your child. Your child has seen it from far, heard every word, all the harsh words and sentences. What happens next? Generally, a parent would feel tensed, would not like it, right? Here the parent, what she does is she goes to that neighbor's house, sits with the neighbor, or at least invite the neighbor to her home, provide a cup of tea, sit and discuss the situation over, where the child can also hear the same. So softly, what happened? This is the scenario. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. It's mistake on my part. Okay, next time it won't happen. So likewise, friendly man, right? You become friendly with your neighbor with whom you were fighting 10 minutes back or half an hour back. Then what happens here? The child sees this. He learns. He learns a lot that there might be here the parent says conflicts happen sometimes and it's important to handle them calmly and respectfully. Anger doesn't solve anything, but understanding the other person's side can lead to solutions that work for everyone. That's why I approached the neighbor again and we worked it out together. Right? I think you can understand. So this is how we can deal with situations where there is too much of anger popping up. The sixth and the last point is foster a growth mindset. As I was discussing before, also focus on what you can, what can be learned from an experience and move ahead to achieve something different. Uh, Replace these words, please, in your life. You failed. You can. What can you improve next time is the word you should use. Don't use you failed. You can use what can you improve next time? How can you improve next time? So there's a scenario again here. I'm not discussing on this. You can later on read out if you want. So these are the expressions that we tend to see in a child. Sometimes very happy, sometimes mischievous, sometimes very angry, sometimes sad, and sometimes mood, like different moods you will see in adolescence, right? So there are the different steps that we can use. We are moving out of time, yeah. So these are the different steps that we can do. You can read them on screen. Avoid criticism. Don't overreact or overprotect. Avoid comparisons, avoid neglecting emotional support, and the last one is don't set unrealistic expressions. Don't set them something unrealistic. As I was discussing, don't tell that, okay, you're born, that means you have to become scientist. In our family, everyone is scientist, you have to become scientist. Don't do that. That is very unrealistic. Just remember this few points. One only fails. This you should tell to your child again, of course. One only fails if you don't have the intention to learn. And this is not something only for the adolescent or the infants. This is for adults too. This is for me, you, every one of us, right? That if we have the intention to learn, we will fail, we will learn. If we have the intention, oh, I know everything, we cannot achieve things in life. We will be very stagnant. So celebrate the process of growth, learn from mistakes, see yourself for who you are. That means it's not important what you are achieving, but it is more important who as a human we are. What personality are we growing? Like we are helping our kids to grow as what personalities. That is important. Challenge yourself out of your comfort zone. When you are in your comfort zone, of course, you tend to be lazy. So when you are out of your comfort zone, you learn more. Add yet to your sentences. This is one very important thing. Please remember, whenever you're talking to your kid, okay, you failed in this, yet you have a lot of time, right? It is a temporary challenge, not a permanent failure. Surround yourself with positive influences who speak positive, talk, do things positively. That is very important. Practice, practice, and practice until you achieve your goal. So these are the few activities that we can do, and with the things that we shouldn't do to deal with the kids better. So you can give the like one of the example I'll give you. You can give your child. You can take a snapshot of this and read it later on. So you can give your child a diary and ask the child to write daily diary for 10 minutes before sleeping. We generally use this every it's a very old method, but it is still being in use. And in schools, we also tell our children, often we take sessions where we tell our children that you have to write diary every day. Just take 10 minutes and write about the day. Anything that you are not able to express to your parent, to us, you can express to your diary. Lock it up. Everybody does need to read it. But when you write it, you also find a solution to it. So, yeah, so these are the things that thank you so much, dear parents. Feel free to reach out. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah,
That was great, ma'am.
thank you. Yeah.
Heartfelt thanks you, for enlightening thoughts on turning failure into stepping stones for success. Your expertise has illuminated the path for both parents and educators to guide teens towards resilience and growth. To our audience, let's take today's conversation as a powerful reminder that failure isn't a defeat, it's a chance to grow stronger and smarter. By teaching our teens to embrace challenge, we equipping them with the courage to face life's uncertainty and confidence. Remember, resilience is not something we are born with, it's something we cultivate. As a parent, your encouragement and understanding are the seeds for which this resilience grows. Thank you for joining us today at the Parenting Summit 2024. Together, let's continue building a world where every setback is a setback set up for a comeback. Until next time, take care and keep growing stronger. Thank you once again, Binita ma'am, for the insightful session you shared today.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.